Hello there, welcome back to Crafters TV. Oh gosh, we've got a really exciting show coming up for you. It is a launch day and you loved it in the earlier wake-up call. We are launching the brand new fancy sentiment stamps and dies for you. Absolutely loads that you're going to be able to do with this, and taking us through it all for the next couple of hours, Mrs. Jan is back, the head mistress of Crafters TV. How are you, Jan?
I am good, thank you, Joe. It's been a little while, and then we met up this morning, didn't we? The first time in what seems like ages and ages.
It has been ages.
Yes, I know I'm not around as much as I used to be, but I am still here, and I am so looking forward to this. It's like a good sentiment, I think, finishes off any project. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're a card maker, whether you like to make home decor projects, whether you're a scrapbooker, whatever your paper crafting theme is, I think a sentiment just finishes something off nicely. We've got a beautiful range of them now that cover a lot of occasions, and obviously through the next 2 hours we're going to demo them in a bit more detail than what we could this morning and show you the different ways that you can actually use them on your projects.
Yeah, absolutely. We will. Let's take you through them, exactly what you'll get included. Before I do that, though, I need to mention a couple of bits that are going on over on the website at the moment. National Sewing Machine Day today over on the website, so make sure you head over there and check that out. You've got 3 for 2 on all by the metre fabrics and up to 65% off in our flash sale. So go and check that out. Loads of bargains over there for today. Also, this week we are celebrating Totally Tiffany's 2nd birthday here on Crafters TV. And and Crafter's Companion. And there is a brilliant show coming up, an anniversary show on Saturday evening here in the UK. But you can, there's a very special promotion. If you spend £30 or dollars, you'll save 5. Spend 50, you'll save 10. Spend 80, you'll save 20. So that's representative, a 25% discount, which is incredible value. So if storage is what you need to stock up on, then absolutely head over to the website and check that out. Let me get on then and share with you the launch, which is our brand new fancy sentiments that you've got. 5 awesome sentiments. You've got the stamps and they come with a corresponding die as well to enable you to create a matte layer to go underneath them. So you've got thanks very much is your first one. Really beautiful, very legible as well, which is important. You've then got this one here, which is best wishes. You're going to receive just to say happy birthday and special friend. Just to let you know as well, best wishes, which is this one here, is a Crafters TV exclusive, so you won't be able to get this anywhere else. If you went for these on HSN or you grabbed them over on Hobby Maker, you might want to grab this one to complete your collection. You can get it individually at £6.95 or $8.95 you price there on that. Platinum members, not only are you getting a great saving, you are able to take advantage of your platinum discount, $22.37 or $28.64 being your price. Now, I know lots of you have gone for these already. Lots of you tuning in saying hello as well. Pam saying hi from Central New York. Sarah Brown saying I'm back for more fun with my friends Jan, Joe and all my crafties sending hugs. Mary's in Montana. Gail's in from Maryland. Jill's down the road in North Yorkshire. Hi, Jill. Julie says happy Monday to everyone from Georgia. I think she means Georgia the state, not Georgia the country, but we'll double check. You never know, we might have some Georgian viewers. Nee says, well, it's just another manic Monday. Good morning, CTV team and Team Social. Hello, Fabulous Joe and Headmistress Jan. Hey, hey, crafty viewers. Hey, hey to all of you as well. Right, Jan, I think without further ado, we're ready to crack on if you are.
To it, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. So what I'm going to try and do is make sure that we cover all of the 5 sentiments that we've got on there for you during this 2 hours. We've got much longer to explore these. We'll go through the concept of how they actually work, and then I've got some different designs including cards and gift boxes and shaker elements and things like that for you in this show. So this is the one that we're going to have a look at. We're going to try having a go at this one. So this is actually a stamp. Now then, when I spoke to the guys earlier, they were going to try and get this into the Shop the Show facility. Now I haven't had a chance to check it, but this is actually one of our stamps called the Ornate Butterfly stamp.
Okay,
and it was just one out of the stash that I thought really sort of lent itself to creating that aperture. So I've actually stamped this out ready, and then I'll show you how we go about stamping those sentiments, because obviously it was more about the sentiment than it is the background stamp. So all I've done then is I've stamped this out ready on a piece of Nina cardstock using our alcohol-proof ink on there.
Okay.
And then I've just taken a selection, I've got sort of like a rainbow selection of my tri-blend markers. If I pick these up here, you can see we've just got all those sort of reds and yellows and greens and blues, you know, typical rainbow collections. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time with the colouring because, you know, that colouring medium is open to whatever your, you know, your sort of chosen theme is. If you like to watercolour, then just change the ink that you're stamping with and then get out your watercolour designs on it as well. So literally with this one, I've not really done much as far as shading's concerned. I've just taken my pens and literally added some colour into it. So I'm not going to colour the whole thing in. I have got one that's already done, but just to show you how we arrived at that lovely sort of rainbow of colours.
That stamp is in the shop today, Jan.
Thank you, yes. I thought the guys were trying to get that on there just in case anybody wanted to try this kind of look. Okay, so let me just pop a little bit of colour down. As I say, I'm not going to do the whole thing because I've got one that's already coloured in, but all I've done is added that sort of flat colouring, and then I've gone to the deeper shade, okay, and from the centre where you'd expect those wings to be a little bit more depth of colour, I've just flicked out some of the dark. So I've gone from the lightest shade to the darkest, so you can see that. We'll just do the halves of them. And then I went round onto the orange, so again starting with that lightest shade just to fill, you know, so nothing really technical going on here at all. It's just literally filling in the space and then flipping it round to that darker one and adding a bit of extra depth near the body of the butterfly, so you can
Very
see
straightforward.
there. All right, so very straightforward. Then all I've done is I've gone round, so we did the red, the orange, I've got a yellow blend, I've got a green blend, a turquoise and a purple, and you can see how that's just taken it all the way round that sort of area there. Okay, so what I've done then is I've prepared that in advance because it does take a little while to do the colouring. I've used a circle die to just cut an aperture there out of the middle. I thought that lent itself, with it being that lovely sort of wreath of butterflies, just to create the little aperture in there. So let's pop all those to one side for a minute, and I've got some elements to make my card blank, which we'll come back to, because the focus of the show today is these beautiful sentiment stamps. So again, you know, we were talking about, if you didn't managed to join us earlier, we were talking about the size of these being sufficient to add. If you're making a larger card, then you can use a sentiment sort of towards the bottom or the side. Whereas if you want to, you know, make it a focal point on your project, they are large enough to actually sort of hold their own in the centre of that design there. So how these work, we're going to get a metal element for the die, and then you're going to get your two stamps. So the main stamp there is actually that beautiful font where you've got the scroll coming in and out the other side.
Could you imagine yourself using the stamp on its own, Jan?
Pardon?
Would you imagine yourself using the stamps on their own?
I think the stamps would make great backgrounds.
Yeah,
you know,
actually.
to just stamp the thanks in lots of different colours to make
I
a
love that
background.
idea.
You might just literally want the stamp as a sentiment. You know, you don't have to do it on the cut-out background. There's so, you know, there's always options with our products, and that's what I like about them. And you know that I like trying to find different ways of using things. But just to start off with, we're going to go with the actual concept. So if I turn this over, because obviously you can see that this is upside down, you can see that that stamp's been made exactly the right size to fit over the metalwork. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this to cut out our back piece, and what I would suggest is that you have a go at using these both ways. So what I mean by that is try stamping and then cutting out, or try cutting out and then stamping. Now I just happen to have lifted the sticky off there as well, so let me just pop that back on there for a minute. Don't need that bit. So these all fit through your Gemini Mini. All right, all the sentiments, you can see there's plenty of space. You could probably even fit two side by side in there. So what I'm going to do then is just take a little piece of white smooth cardstock to stamp on. I'm going to attach my die inside, and because we're using the Mini, I don't even need to stick that down, because I can just trap it inside the folder and then pass it through my Mini just to cut out that shape. Now I prefer to do this first and then align the stamp, but like I said, try both ways. Try stamping first and cutting out. Try doing this and then stamping. The only reason I prefer it this way is because this is a solid piece of metal. It's not easy when you've got your stamped image to decide how close you are to the actual stamping to get it in a, you know, in the right place. So what we're going to do then, you need some kind of stamping, you know, object. Now you know that I love my platform, and for this it does make life very, very easy. So the magnetic platform, if you have this, perfect. So to stop this one moving around, I usually just use my dotty tape pen, and I'm just going to put a tiny little bit in the middle there, not a lot, and then line it up in the centre on that grid on there, and that will keep that in place, because normally we would anchor it with the magnets, but the stamp's going to cover the whole piece. If I put the magnets on here, we're not going to be able to get the stamp in place. And then take your stamp away, and you can now see through this sufficiently with the clear stamps to actually position it on that piece underneath and get it exactly where you want it to be before you commit to the actual stamp. And once you've done that, we can then pick it up with our platform. And on this occasion, I'm just going to stick with black, and I've chosen my black quick dry ink. For a sentiment, these are perfect, because once you've stamped them, you know that you're not going to get that smudge. It dries instantly. So nice gentle tapping, because these are on a sponge pad. If you press down hard, you're going to get all the ink all over, and it just wastes your ink. So nice gentle tapping on there. Flip it back over, and because we've lined the stamp up, I can stamp down now with confidence. and transfer that into that little die cut. And can you see how it's been designed to fit in there
really
perfectly?
Well. Are they photopolymer, these, Jan?
Let me just double check.
How do you check?
It usually tells you on the packet, but I am thinking...
They feel quite firm.
They do, yes. It doesn't actually say on there, but I think they are, just by the... They tend to be thicker than the acrylic. The acrylic stamps are a lot more sort of jellyish, for want of a better way to describe them. Okay, so I'm just going to give, because I'm on the magnetic platform, I can actually line this up and just give it a second stamp just to bring out the depth of that black ink and make it really nice and solid and bold, knowing that it's going to go in exactly the same place. So when we take this off here now, the little dots don't actually stick it permanently down there. It will do on cardstock, but on the platform it doesn't. But you can see there now how we've got that sort of nestled in that die cut perfectly.
Very precise, isn't it?
It is. Now, if you want to stamp first and then align this over the top, as I say, that is an option. But I just found personally that it wasn't as easy to get this. I mean, mine's not perfectly even. I have got a slightly deeper edge at the bottom than I have at the top. But yeah, it's not as easy, I find personally, to get that in the right place than it is to put the stamp inside the die cut. So have a play around with it and see. And then what I've done is I've cut that same background again, just in a piece of our matte black card. So I've just got that matte again. Now this is obviously the same size as the one that we stamped. So if I stick this over the top, it's literally just going to make up a black background. But what we can do with this is either drop it down. I like to have the shadow just across the top there, just to create, if I put it on the back of here, you can see how it's created that little bit of depth and makes it look more 3D. Or if you prefer it, you can actually move your top die cut up a little bit so that your shadow is underneath. So whichever way you prefer it, I actually like it at the top. So what I'm going to do is just use my wet glue, and I'm going to pop a little bit of glue just along the top edge of my die cut here, because that's the bit that's going to be attached to the black behind it. And then hover over the top of here as if you were going to line them up. And then I like to just come to the right a bit and down slightly. So you've got that little bit of black exposed. And because it's the wet glue, you can actually just have time.
Will that dry clear, that glue, if you don't get it smudged in the wrong place?
The tacky glue does dry clear, and you've got that just that second or two to sort of wriggle it into the right place that you want it. And then once it's finished, let it dry, and you can see again when I put it against the white there, you can see that it's got that lovely little shadow around it. Gives it some depth. So just a nice, neat little trick to do with them. If you want that shadow around both sides, then cut yourself another one of the black, and instead of taking it up above, drop it down below, and it will look as if you've got that black sort of almost surrounding your sentiment as well. So what we're going to do then is we're going to build up the card base, and we're going to use the sentiments in the top. And then you also get the sort of complementary stamp to go with it. So in this case, we've got thanks very much. So we've got our thanks, and then we've got the block lettering in the very much. And all I've done is just stamp that on a scrap of card just to go with it. So we've got our full sentiment there. So let's pop this together for you then. So on the back of the card, we're going to pop a little bit of acetate behind here just to give this a bit of structure. And because it's on the back of the card there, I'm just going to use some double-sided tape. Okay. Just around the edge. I would normally use red line tape on this, but I'm going to sandwich this piece in between this layer and the matte layer, so we're okay with that. Just going to burnish that tape down so that it stays in place, and then we're going to mat this onto some black. Now I've done the same with the black and used the same die just to cut the aperture out and make a matten layer there. So that one's nice and straightforward. On with the tape pen again. Okay. Just round there. And then we're going to matten layer this one. So we had the red up at the top. Line up the aperture, and that's just left me sort of 1/4 of an inch all the way through. So we've now got that piece of acetate nicely secured in between the two. You can just get that to catch the light there.
Nice.
In between the two pieces. And then my card blank, I've just taken a piece of that smooth cardstock, 6 by 6 inches, and I've cut the same one again in here, so that that aperture goes all the way through to the inside of my card. All right, so again, we're just going to line those up, and that should leave me a nice border around the outside of the card. So the card blank, very, very simple. All right, it was the colour in there that does take a little bit of time, but you know, you might want to just stamp it in a colour. You don't have to sit and colour the butterflies in. If you're using that stamp, you could stamp it in a coloured ink. You could actually ink up parts of your stamp with different colours and do it that way. But I am literally just, I'm just going to open that so I can see where the aperture is.
Mary Pat says, I mean, it's all about finding what works for you, isn't it? She does it the other way around and finds it easier to stamp first. I mean,
Yep.
just whatever works.
Absolutely.
Really,
this is what I said, you know, try both ways and see what works best for you. There is no right and wrong. There's no point in me saying you must do it this way, because you work out what works best for you when you're doing the stamping. So we've got our card blank there, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use these across the acetate to sort of bridge the gap there. So we're going to have these across the bottom like so, and I think I'm going to pop those on a little bit of foam just to raise it up a bit. So I'm just going to cut one of these down to make them slightly smaller, and then we will pop some on the back of here just to give this a little bit, a bit of a raised element like so. And then I'm also going to pop, I think we'll pop that one flat and have this one raised. So just
great tip on the platform, says Sarah Brown. They just received theirs. Joan says, hi, Jan Jo from Iowa. Says, so happy to see you both together again. Love the way Jan explains everything and how beautiful everything turns out. How lovely.
Thank you very much. Whoops. A bit stuck there. So yeah, I'm going to keep this, the bottom part of the sentiment flat, just so that we've got a little bit of difference between the thanks and the very much. So just popping those in here. And if for any reason you're not keen on seeing the glue behind the aperture here, what you can do is recut this one again. So cut this in the white and actually stick it the wrong way up over the back, and it's going to cover that detail where you've got the foam pads in the background there. So I'm not too worried about that, but just to turn that one around there, you can see a nice straightforward design, you know, sort of complementing it with something that you may have already got in your stash or something similar that you've got in the stash. We've got some lovely nesting dies on the show today, which we're going to, some of the later demos are going to combine them with those, and then add in those sentiments just to take centre stage there in the middle.
They are absolutely gorgeous. What a really lovely project to get us kicked off. Let's share with you then. Have I got them all upside down? Just these ones. There we go. Let's share with you the 5 designs you're going to be getting in here, which is excellent. So you've got Thanks Very Much, which is this one here. You will also get Just to Say, Happy Birthday. This one is Special Friend. And you've got Best Wishes. Now, Best Wishes is only available directly from us here. So if you've got these anywhere else, you might want to finish that collection. You can get that one available on its own individually, as with all the others. $27.96 or $35.80 gets you absolutely all of them. A brilliant price, so 20% savings. You're going to get one free, which is awesome, considering we are launching these just today. And you can use your Club Inspire discount as well. And your Club Inspire saving here as a Platinum member, this will take it down to $22.37 or $28.64. Which is brilliant. Who else we got? Mary Pat says, Michelle says, hi, Michelle McCarthy. Hi, Michelle. She's hi, Jan Jo, CTV team and everyone. I've missed you, Jan. It's been so long since I last saw you.
Paths don't cross very often, do they?
No.
I know. I've not seen any of the team for a while.
You're like ships in the night, aren't you? Ashley said that card is so gorgeous. Really loving those bright colours. Right, I want to move on and tell you about another. It's amazing, this deal. It really is. Check out the price on these. $27.27 or $31.39. I was so surprised with this the other day that earlier today, that I questioned whether we had the right product, but we do. It is these ones, because they're meant to be almost £78 or $90. Today, Platinum members, $21.82 or $25.11. That's a 65% saving on the today price, which is excellent. You're going to get the Deco swirls. You're also going to get the filigree frame. You've got the modern swirl. This one here is the decorative rose. You've got the delicate lace. And you've also got the abstract frame in there too. So 6 amazing designs, definitely an element of being able to mix and match with some of these, and a lot of them will work great in landscape or portrait. So really think about the kind of card concepts that you want to use when you put these together. Right, we are going, I believe we're going straight back.
How long was it? I'm not ready yet, guys, so I'm sorry.
Well, we're going to have to wait, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll just give me a minute.
We'll have to
That was
give you a
very
minute, yeah.
quick. That was very quick.
No, I'm just going to wait. No, I'm joking.
Just going to sit and wait.
The other thing I want to tell you about then in that case is our quick dry collection. These are brilliant for stamping out those sentiments that you might want stamped with your brand new collection. Of course, they dry instantly. They're also really great for things like your layering stamps. Also, I saw Corinne was using these to blend around the edges of stuff the other day. I had no idea that you could sort of, you know, add colour with them onto sort of the edges of cardstock and stuff with a blending tool.
Blend with them. You just need to be really quick.
Yeah.
So the quick dry ones are meant to dry as soon as they hit a porous surface. So if you've got such as a smooth cardstock, you can just, as long as you're quick with them, you can blend with them. But if you're wanting to do that blending like we did earlier, then I would go with the water reactive ones. You get more time for those to stay on the surface of the card more. It's almost fighting against it with that one because it's meant to dry. Trying to move it around is a little bit more difficult. Not impossible, but a little bit more difficult.
Absolutely. Let me take you through the colours. You've got some beautiful ones in here. You've got fuchsia. You've also got baby blue, Chinese red, the jet black, which is an absolute essential, of course, in this particular collection. You've got the parakeet here, seal brown, pine tree, smoked emerald, the misty morning, and you'll also get the orange in there as well. So a really, really lovely selection of colours within there. $46.99 or $70.99, great saving. And you are looking at under £38 or $57 as a platinum member. Michelle says, I must just add, I've been missing you too, Joe. It's been so long since we worked together. I've missed my weekly dose of Joe. Well, it doesn't sound very good, does it? Makes me sound like I've gone viral or something. No, I'm missing you too, Michelle. I can't remember the last time, like yourself, Jan, I can't remember the last time I worked with Michelle. I've only been working with the Debbies and Craig.
The Debbies and Craig, well, we won't take it personally.
A little bit of Corinne sprinkled in there, in the middle as well. But yeah, I don't know when I'll see Michelle, because I'm off now after tomorrow. So yes, hopefully we'll get to catch up very soon. Any questions you've got, get them into me, Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion over on YouTube, and I'll pop them across, of course, to the lovely Jan.
Right.
Which one would you like to have a little look at next then,
We're going to do the happy birthday. I think that's probably the sentiment that's used most in our card making. I think the sort of birthdays outweigh things like anniversaries and, you know, sort of christenings or, I don't know, Valentine's Day is only once a year, Christmas only comes at once. So the happy birthday one, I think, is sort of very, very versatile. And this time, instead of a card, we're going to make a neat little gift box with this one. So again, you know, those sentiments are just a nice size to go on a gift box if you wanted to use them for a gift. I love your idea, Joe, of actually making them and popping them on a tag, just something that little bit different that you wouldn't be able to buy in the shops. So this is actually a little project from the USB that comes with the Ultimate Pro. So if any of you have got that out there, this project's actually on there. And what I've done is I've just printed out, you've got the ability to print out the instructions for those, which talks you through literally what you need and how to make that. So if any of you guys have got that out there, you can actually watch the videos on your, you know, sort of laptop or your tablet, whatever you're using. But you have also got the facility to print them out. And I just keep these in a plastic pocket so that I've got them to refer to. So I've followed the instructions on here as to how to get the base of the box, and I've just done this on a piece of our Centura Pearl. So just the hint of silver, Centura Pearl cardstock, and it's asked me to put it in the scoreboard on the long side, and we're scoring 2.5 inches and 5.5 inches, which was at each edge. All right, and then it says turn the cardstock, no, sorry, this way. That was the 2.5 inches and the 5.5. Turn it round and then score it in from the edge at 2.25 and flip it 2.25 to give you that score line across the middle here. So this is going to become the base and the sides. So all I'm doing is just nipping those score lines, and we're actually going to fold these in and burnish them just to make sure that they stay in place. Okay, and then the same at this side.
Fred says they're loving my shirt. They said it's very Monet.
I love it. I love the
Monet.
colours on it. That green is absolutely gorgeous.
It's got something written on it in French, which makes me look intellectual as well. That's why I liked
there you go,
it.
you see.
Do you want to know what it says? It says Rue Saint-de-Paris, la site du dessin atelier art en métropole d'Avers sans fleur. No idea what it means.
No idea. Maybe one of our lovely viewers out there might be able to translate.
From that
the
pronunciation,
photo.
I'm guessing they'll have a job to decipher it. But anyway, you knock yourself out.
Okay, so essentially what we're going to do is we're going to pop this to the plain side of the card, and these are actually going to pop inside here, like so. All I've done is cut to free these tabs, and then these are literally going to go inside to make that little box, and then this one just folds up. So nice and simple, nothing difficult. Follow the instructions. You've got 5 steps on there. Explains how to make the box exactly. But just before I stick it together, I'm going to just choose a side. I'm not bothered which one. I've popped the hole in the top, and then I've just got some little bits to mat and layer. So I've just taken some silver glitter card there, and on shed glitter card, and a little bit of scrap again just to pop on the front, so we'll get those down. So I'm going to use my tape pen for the back of the glitter card, like so. And then just because we're going to stick the next layer onto the glitter, I'm actually going to revert back to a wet glue, just so that it seeps in to that surface. Because this is a coated cardstock, you want something that's going to seep in. Now if it was a larger piece, I'd probably use my all-purpose glue, but because it's a smaller piece, I'm going to get away with the tacky glue there. I don't like using a lot of tacky glue on paper because it can sometimes make it ruttle. The water content in the PVA can sometimes make it ruttle a little bit, but just a small area like that is going to be fine. And that glue will now soak into that coating and give you a nice strong bond between the paper and the glitter card.
So what would
underneath.
happen here if we used the all-purpose then, Judge? We stay away
Exactly
from
the same, exactly the same. It would soak in there just so that you get that nice bond with it. And as I say, if it was a bigger piece, if I was covering maybe a front of a card or something like that, I'd probably go with the all-purpose because I would want to prevent the edges of this ruttling with the PVA glue. But just that small piece, we should be good. And then also on the show, we've got those lovely nesting dies, and this is just one of the elements out of there again that's again cut in that glitter card, and we're just going to use this as sort of a backdrop to focus where the sentiment's going to be. So again, you can either put your dotty tape pen on the back of here, or you can go with your wet glue, whichever you prefer. So in this instance, I think we'll just run the dots around here on the back. These are great for adding to your sort of fussy die cuts, anything that's got some element of you know, design in it. The dots, nothing on here, just literally on the back of the cardstock. And again, that one's just going to go in the centre to give us a little bit of a draw our eye in to that centre point there. And then we made the sentiment in exactly the same way. So for happy, we have got happy birthday. So again, you have got, and I'm not going to stamp them out every time, we'll do so many of them, but this is exactly the same as what we've just done. So I've cut, this time, I've cut my piece from the metal die out of the silver cardstock to match. Okay,
nice,
really pretty. And then I've just used a piece of the Centura pearl there. So I've cut it again. You can see here where we've cut it again out of the Centura pearl. Okay, and then I've lined up that stamp over the top here perfectly, just using my stamping platform like I did last time, and stamped it into that aperture there. All right. So that one, again, we're just going to do that little drop shadow with it, and this time I'm going to pop it to the bottom, just to show you the difference there in the bottom and the top. So this time I'm going to use that wet glue again, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue across the bottom of my die cut instead of the top this time. So last time we put the black above the die cut, the stamped element. This time we're going to drop it down below. So again, as if you're going to line them up, let me just move that one out of the way, and then lift it slightly from the bottom. And because I've used the wet glue again, it just gives me that time to move it into place, give it a good press, let that tacky glue do its job. And then again, if I pop it on the back of here, you can see where we've got that nice little silver decorative edge just underneath there catching the light. All right, so let's pop the little box together, and then we can pop these elements. So I've got this one, I'm just going to pop the little birthday that I've stamped. I'm going to set you a little challenge over there, Joe. Are you up for a little challenge?
Me, over here.
Me, over here, me, he says.
Me, a challenge. I'm always challenging.
A little challenge. I was just wondering, and I haven't had a chance to look at this.
Yeah.
If there's any mix and match ability with the wording on the dies.
I was having a little look earlier. I don't think so.
Is there not?
So let's have a look.
I'm not sure with the way they've been designed, whether there would be any overlap with them or not. Sometimes you can do sort of a mix and match.
Maybe
with
you
them.
could do best friend together, so you could do those ones together.
Yeah.
You could take the to say from the just and put it with the to say thanks, or it could be to say thanks very much.
There's a little bit then, yeah. So again, that's sort of stretching them that little bit further.
Yeah. You could have special birthday and then put a number with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a bit.
I think it just stretches your product a little bit when there's that bit of sort of, you know, mix and match facility with them, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is really lovely to have things that you can use
So I've got
together.
my sentiment ready, and I've got my little stamped element ready. So we'll put a foam pad on the back of there as well. And then I'm going to put this together now before we stick those on. So all I'm going to do is pop glue, and I'm mixing and matching now. I'm going back to my double-sided. To whenever I want to stick something together, it's always the double-sided tape runner. For the more intricate parts, it would be the dotty tape runner. So constantly sort of flicking between them. So on these larger rectangles now then, these are the ones that are going to come and stick inside the box, like so. So on those larger ones, we're going to need tape on all 4 of those pieces. So leaving the smaller one, this is going to be the side of the box, and then taking that tape over to that larger one again at the other side, and then flip it round, and we're going to do the same. And this is all in those instructions that you've printed off. If you want to have a go at making this one and you've got the USB, then just have a look at those instructions, and it talks you through all the measurements and where to score, and then how to pop it together. So all I'm going to do now is hold what will be the back of the box, and I'm going to flick this round and line up that edge with the score line, so that that piece now sits on the inside. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. I'm going to tuck it onto the inside, line up that edge there with the score line, and then turn it over and just use my bone folder inside here to give it a good burnish and get that glue stuck in place. So that's one side of the box, and then we're going to do the same at this side. So again, doesn't matter whether you bring the left one or the right one in first, pop it in, line up the edge, tuck this one inside, line up that edge again with the edge of that front piece here.
Very simple, but quite an inspirational project.
Yeah, and it's a nice little size just to pop a little gift in if you're wanting to cheer somebody up, or just an addition to a birthday gift or anything like that. And you can see now, we've got that nice little shape and really, really dinky. So the actual box itself now measures, let me just measure the edge of this for you. We're looking at 3 inches across by 1.5. So you've got 3 inches by 1.5, and then the depth of that side piece is 2.5 inches this way. So you've got a nice little area in that inside there to pop a couple of little chocolates or nice piece of jewellery or something like that. And then all I'm going to do is use a piece of ribbon. I'm just going to curve this bit because I've stuck the matten layer on it. It's a little bit stiffer than the back. So I'm just going to use my longer bone folder and just give it a gentle curve there, just to encourage it to close at the top here. And then I've got a piece of silver ribbon that I'm just going to pop through the gap there, just to tie it together. You might want to pop a little clip or a decorated peg on the top of it, the little mini pegs that you can get. Lots of different ways to do your closures, but we're just going to use that. I thought that silver ribbon just matched the glitter card nicely there. So again, a nice little bow on the top there. Okay. And then we can see exactly where we're at now to pop these. So we're going to have the happy across the top there. And the birthday just to one side, like so. And then again, just from those embellishment packs, I've just put, you know, little butterfly, or it could be a little flower, whatever you want to pop on there. And I'm going to put a little tiny bit of wet glue on the back of him and pop one at the top just to finish it off. Could be buttons if you've got, but I like to use buttons on as decoration as well. If you were making this for a guy, you could change the colour scheme, make it for a guy and pop sort of some little stars as decorations. So lots of different ways of doing it. So you can see there, that's the one we've just done. And then the one that I'd done earlier, I've just popped some little gems in the centre of the butterflies there, just to add a bit of bling in the centre. But really nice, cute little gift box there.
Yeah,
letting
really
those
gorgeous
sentiments be the focal point again, and then just adding elements from those nesting dies in to focus it there.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about these, you know, they're going to be brilliant for allowing you to get other collections out maybe you haven't used for a little while. Nesting dies, all sorts of different things you're going to be able to pop these onto. They really are a great accent to so many products and projects that you already do. So you've got in here, remember, best wishes. That one, of course, only available from us here directly at Crafters Companion and Crafters TV. So you can get it on its own individually if you wanted to complete your collection. You've got Special Friend. This one here is Happy Birthday. Thanks very much. And also Just to Say, $27.96 or $35.80. Now that is a 20% saving, so essentially you're getting one of them for free, which is brilliant. And then of course you're using your Club Inspired discount. Club Inspired Platinum members today, $22.37 or $28.64 is your prices there on those. We've got some really great deals running on across the day today. I shared with you those nesting dies a little earlier. We've got something else here from our Nature's Garden collection. Don't forget we are launching a brand new Nature's Garden collection tomorrow. Myself and Corinne will be here with you. We're just going to call it Sunflower Day. No doubt it will be featuring throughout the day. It'll of course be a wake-up call, and it will be a whole launch day dedicated to it tomorrow. And then also, no doubt, we'll see it in the launch party too. So this was one of our best-selling previous Nature's Gardens, actually. One of my favourites too. It's your Be Beautiful collection. So in here, this is an 8-piece collection that we've got for you. You've got your cut and emboss frame, which is your bees in the nature. You've also got this slim border just here as well. That one is your bees and flowers. You've then got Bumbling in the Flowers. Now this is brilliant because you can really sort of twist this and use this any way you wish. You've also getting a creator card. It's your Sweet as Honeycomb. Really snip into that one and play around with it. Paper piece it back together maybe is another great way to do it. So that one is your Sweet as Honeycomb there. It's a 40% saving on this, which is brilliant. You've then got 3 sets of stamps and dies within here too. So you've got Beehive, which is that one there. You've also got Honeybee, really loving the texture of the honeycomb there. And you've also got Bee Blooms in here too. $52.15 instead of £86, $79 instead of $132. So a great saving, and you're able to use your Club Inspired discount. I shortchanged you. You're also getting the layering stamps included in there as well. So you're going to get those, which are awesome. Right, I think we are going to take a very short break, give you an opportunity to check out your baskets, because lots of you got this brand new launch in your baskets at the moment. Whilst you do that, why don't we show you some of the fun stuff we like to get up to here at Crafters TV.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours. I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing. Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day. Quick Buy. All your crafting must-haves in a flash.
Achieve crisp, precise, and perfect die cutting results every time with the Gemini Accessories Plastic Shim. The idea behind the plastic shim is that it creates a thicker plate combination, offering an even more precise die cutting result with each pass. Simply pop a plastic shim between your cutting plates and then roll through your Gemini die cutting machine and voila, an amazing precise cut every time. Plastic shims work really well with detailed or thin metal dies. So if intricate cutting is your thing, then the Gemini Accessories Plastic Shim is your best friend.
Quick Buy. Get yours now.
Right, very, very busy on that new launch. Lots of you going for them, lots of them getting in your basket, lots of you getting them in your basket even and checking out. Something else, now Jan used this in the card of the show actually. I'm just going to grab it, do excuse me. Just walking off the shot there like Mrs. Overall. In here, macaroons. I just wanted to share this project with you that Jan made. It's a card of the show in the earlier show, just how beautiful it is. And that's actually made using what I'm about to share with you next. And with the dandelions that we had on in the earlier show. It is your Knitwit Kindly Thoughts collection, which is a 63 sheet paper collection with a nice saving as well. So some really lovely pastel blues and yellows in there. It's a really gorgeous floral collection, this one. In this particular sheet, you're going to get a pad, you get 24 sheets, and then you're also going to get 24 sheets of your luxury cardstock too. Oh, someone's been at this one, Jan, honestly.
The bits are falling out.
Let me share that with you. So you can see here.
Gorgeous
all
colour
of those
palette,
colours. I
isn't it?
love that dark blue. Is stunning. It's always
The
like
blue and the yellow
sort of a
together look
midnight or a
lovely.
navy, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, someone's definitely had their crafty paws in here, it's fair to say. There's all sorts of bits and bobs in here. Right, $24.99 or $30.99 if you want to get your hands on that. $19.99, $24.79 as a platinum member, I believe. Though we're going to go back again to these amazing brand new fancy sentiment stamps and dies. I love the size on these, Jan, as well. They're big enough to be their own thing, but also small enough to complement something else, aren't
Yeah, if you've done a slightly bigger card, that sentiment would sort of go into a corner or the bottom centre or wherever you wanted to place it, just offset. But they are nice enough to be a focal point. And I must admit, a lot of the ones that we've done today, because we're launching the sentiments today, we have made them sort of the star of the show and made them as focal points. So the next one we're going to do then, we're going to use that special friend set. We've all got a special friend. All right. So
Who's your special friend, Jan?
You've got the die there, and then you've got the stamp to go with it. Sorry, I missed that, Joe.
You completely missed that.
I was
Right.
listening to Joe in my ear.
I said, who's your special friend,
I'm going to
Jan?
show
And
you in a
went,
minute. Sorry, I was listening to George because he wanted me to straighten up that it was a bit skewy like this because I'd been lent on it, you see. And neither of us can cope with that. So I was just listening to him and I missed you. I was going to bring in my special friend. You'll not be surprised. This is my special friend, bless her. I love her to bits, I do. She's we only met when we started working for the company.
Did you?
I didn't know Debbie before I started working for Crafters Companion. This is our 7th year, I think, now with the company. And you know, it's as if I've known her my whole life. We just clicked instantly the day we met, and we're very lucky that we only live about 20 minutes apart as well in the world. So I don't see as much of her now as I would like to. But obviously, when we worked in the store together, I saw her pretty much every day. So,
I asked if you lived in Rotherham yesterday, and she said no, and Jan would not be happy with the implication from you that she lived in Rotherham. And I thought, well, poor people of Rotherham.
No, not far away. My address is Sheffield, but if you look on the map, I'm right on the very border as you're going out towards Worksop. So whereas the address is Sheffield, I'm on the very outskirts of it, heading out towards Worksop.
Okay.
But yeah, my shop that I used to have, my business was in Rotherham Town Centre.
So when I go from Peterborough back to Manchester, then I go on the A57 towards Worksop and then I cut across to Sheffield. It's like there somewhere.
Yes. Yeah,
just there.
so
I'll pop in for a
where the
couple of
M1 comes straight up past, I live off Junction 31.
Yeah, well, I'll pop in for a cuppa next time.
You could pop, as you pass in, you're more than welcome. I keep trying to
get
get Debbie in for a coffee.
A couple of times a week I'm going, I'm passing.
Why not? Yeah,
Brilliant.
if I'm in,
We'll
you're
make it
welcome to a cup of coffee. I keep trying to get Debs there, but she's that busy that I can't get hold of her. She rang me last night and I'm like, where are you? She says, oh, I'm on the motorway again. But yeah, she's my special friend, bless her. I trust her with my life. So there she is, look, in all her glory. This was taken a little while ago, actually. I think this was in the old studio. So just sort of found that one. The road. Yeah, found that one out. And we're going to create that using, and you may have noticed, any of you out there that's got it, using that storybook die. I was trying to get it to stand on its little stand here, but I've got the fan on because I'm so warm that it kept knocking it over. But it does come with the little stand to pop it on there.
I know we had that on again recently, didn't we? I hadn't seen it for a really long time.
Yeah, well, I think it sold out originally. It went really quickly. But again, anybody that's got... What I wanted to try and get across is that these are great little sentiments to work with so many things that you've already got in your stash, whether it be collections like the Nature's Garden collection, the Knitwit collections, you know, or any of the, you know, paper pads that we sell separately. There is such a lot of scope for this to work with and combine it with things that you've already got, you know. So it may be that, I mean, a lot of the collections come with sentiments, but you might want something a bit different, just mix and match. And we're going to combine it again with those lovely those ornate nesting dies. So I've got the modern swirl this time, and we're going to sort of, I've cut some of the layers already because it wasn't really about the die cutting today. And I'm going to start and go through this one again. So I thought every other one we'll do the stamping and show you how it works, just for the benefit that anybody that's joined us recently. So in your stamp set, you're going to get the piece of metal that cuts out sort of like the base that we're going to stamp on, and then the stamp is designed perfectly to fit just inside that element. So again, these are just small enough to fit through your mini. So all I've done is taken a piece of the smooth cardstock again, and I'm just going to cut that down so that it will fit in my mini sandwich there. Bring in my little mini, who's never far away from my desk. Pop that inside. I'm just going to flip those over so that we're doing our housekeeping, and literally pass that through to make that little plaque sort of thing to stamp on. So that's stage one. This is how I prefer to do it. If you want to stamp first and then cut, it will work both ways, but I like to do it this way. So I've cut this one out, and then I'm going to bring in my stamping platform again, because this is a really nice way to position them. Because I can't use the magnets with this one, because the stamp covers the whole piece. Tricks with that, actually, if you don't want to use the dots, if you actually put this back in and put your magnets on here, you can then sit this back in its gap, and it will work that way as well.
Okey-doke.
So if you don't want to put the glue on the back, you can do it that way. I don't mind just popping that little bit of dotty tape, just a little bit on the back, and then use the grid lines here just to get it nice and straight, and that secures it in place. And then we're going to take the stamp element, And we're going to take that lovely script friend element there. And then this will line up perfectly. You can see through the stamp to the actual wording and the plate underneath, and just get it lined up. Just spend a minute or two getting it lined up exactly where you want it. And then the nature of this just picks it up and keeps it in the same place. And this time, to coordinate with the project, I'm just going to bring in some pink ink this time. I was looking for a quick dry one, but my quick dry pink tulip is hiding. So I'm just going to try it. The water reactives will stamp, but the quick dry would have been better, but I can't find it. It's hiding somewhere. So we're just going to layer up the pink with the water reactive there. So again, just to pop that down, and this is going to be positioned perfectly in the parameters of that little die cut.
Nice.
Really, really pretty. So again, just to get a bit more strength and depth of colour, I'm just going to give it a second application of ink. And then just because this lines up perfectly, we can stamp directly over the top there. Now later I'm going to do one where we emboss the wording as well, so you might want to use your embossing powders over the top to give it that lovely little sheen. But on this one we're just going to go with the colour, and then the dots will just lift off. They don't damage here, and if you want to take them off the back they will just rub off, but I'm going to stick this down on another layer again. So I'm just going to pop that one up at the top, and then this time I've taken that lovely set of dies here, and I've done a fair bit of die cutting already. So I'll
these are
talk
the
you
ones that are
through.
at a great deal today, Jan, on the show.
Pardon?
These are the ones that
The
are
nesting dies are on a ridiculous
deal.
price,
Yeah,
aren't they?
really silly price.
If you haven't got your hands on these yet, it's a great opportunity to buy them. So you get several dies. I'm just going to pop something under there so that that piece doesn't stick to my mat, because I was just going to show you on here. So this one is about 5 inches square from edge of the design to the edge of the design, and I've cut several of these out already. So I've cut one in that lovely gold satin card.
That is beautiful. So
really
much detail
rich
in that.
colour, isn't it? And just look at the detail on the edges of that. So that's just been passed through my Gemini, and these will go through your Gemini Junior. The plate size will hold these. And then I've cut it again in some of the Centura Pearl, and I've just inked around the edge of this one with that pink ink.
Are those
Using one of
details
my...
for those nesting dies on the bottom of the screen there, Jan? £27
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? For the amount of metal, because each set has got, I think, 4 pieces in them. So you get a large die, you get the nesting elements, and then you get an embellishment element to go with it. And what I mean by that, where's my... there. It's right in front of you, Jan. All right, you get the sort of corner element as well, which can be a decorative element. So plenty in there for that money. That price, honestly, it's ridiculous. We're actually saving 20% on them, I think, aren't we? Oh, no, that's on the sentiments,
it's like
sorry.
65% or something
65%
like that. Yeah,
on the nesting
unbelievable.
dies. Yes, so
should
24
be £78
elements.
or $90 is what they should be.
Crazy, isn't it? Definitely the right
crazy
time to
girl.
get them. So we've got our 2 layers there that we're going to do that little offset bit again to create the gold. And then I've taken it down to the next one, so the next layer down. Keep looking where I've put everything. There we go. I've got bits everywhere today. All right. So this one here, on its own, creates that solid block. You can see there that you've got that solid block. There is no cutting line around the inside of the die. The outside one's the same. You can see how it's left this piece in situ, all right? So just using that one, I've cut the gold and the white again and just inked the edge. So we're going to do the same with those 2. And then you've got this gorgeous little piece here, which will actually go together with this one to make a frame. So if you wanted the middle cut out to make an aperture and make a little frame, you'd use these together. But this also makes a really nice piece here as a little element on its own. So I've just used that single die by itself to cut out that second piece, and I've used my stamp that goes with the special friend and just stamp that in the pink ink to match the one that we did with the friend
Awesome.
there. Okay, so I've got lots of elements ready there. Let's just pop all these bits back to one place. And then I've not actually brought the storybook die with me. I did cut this at home, and those of you that have got it will understand that there are 3 different pages for the die that just literally layer up one inside the other. Now you can keep this flat or you can score down the middle of it, whichever you prefer. On this occasion I'm going to keep it flat, but if you score it and curve the edges you get more of that book feel to it. But because I want to put those large die cuts on it, I'm actually going to keep this one reasonably flat. So let's just get those pieces down together. I'm going to make sure that I choose my right tape pen. I want that double-sided one again for sticking cardstock layers together. If you're choosing your wet glue, you might want to go with your all-purpose on this one. Whenever it's cardstock to cardstock or paper to cardstock, I usually use the all-purpose glue. Okay, if it's a cardstock that's got a separate layer like the glitter card that we used, then I would go with the PVA glue to let it soak in that little bit more. So these are all cardstock or paper layers. This particular piece is from our Masquerade collection, which is a lovely, bright, vibrant collection. So again, you know, I just wanted to show that it will mix and match with so many different things that you've got in your stash. So that's the basics of it there. And you also get in the storybook die the piece that cuts the little stand as well. And I normally cut 2 of these and stick them together just to give it some substance. And that will actually display your card on it as well if you wanted to do that. And then we're just going to start layering with these beautiful die cuts. So what I'm going to do is pop, I just need some tape in the centre of them. I'm not too worried about the outside pieces. And we're going to go for this one on that side. I'm just going to sort of centre it in between what we've already got going on and just press that one down. And then this one, I'm just going to bring it slightly offset again so that we've got that lovely gold halo behind it. So again, I'm just going to put tape on that lovely centre. Oops. Oh, do you know, every time I come here does my tape pen run out.
They wait for you, Jan, that's what they
do. Honestly. And I checked it before I left and I thought, oh no, there's plenty on there. But then of course when you get using it after demo, it soon goes. So yeah, just to show a little bit of the gold through there, we're going to pop that one on.
Oh.
Was that you?
It wasn't me. Someone's honking.
I'm going to do this now then. Let me throw the one away that's run out so that I don't get mixed up with them. So then we're going to do the same with the smaller sections. So again, I'm just going to offset that one slightly, just the same, just so that there's a bit of that gold showing there. And then I'm going to put this one on the old foam pads. So again, we just want to take a couple of those just for now. And this is going to go opposite to receive our little sentiment that we've got. So that one's going to go here. Okay. And then we made our sentiment there. And I've recut again. I love this little drop shadow. I know we've done it on all of them, but this is just recut that piece one more time out of a scrap of the gold that was left. And again, I'm just going to make that little shadow with it to tie in with everything else that we've done. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the top edge of the stamped piece and then line it up and drop it slightly down and right to expose that gold there, just in between. All right, and then we can pop a couple of the foam pads on, whoops, the back of that one. And I have to just cut them down to fit the back of it so that I've got the right size. So we're going to have this one next. I need to put that one on, don't I? So this is the little piece that I stamped the special on. So this one is going to go on here like so, and you can just see how those nesting dies, they're all sized beautifully to get that lovely little 1/4 of an inch increment there. And then we're actually going to pop our special friend, and then I've reprinted my photo, just printed that off on my computer, and that's going to go in the centre.
Beautiful.
2 cheeky Yorkshire lasses. Okay, so that one again. And if you are using, this has actually been printed out on my printer, but if you're using real photos, if you're a scrapbooker, the double-sided tape pen and the dotty tape pen are both acid and lignin free, so you can use them on the back of your photos safely without
That's always
having
good
to
to know.
worry about them damaging any of your photographs. So pop that, whoo, that eager to get down there, look. Gosh, nearly gave her some wrinkles then. Crikey, she'll not thank me for that, will she? Pop that one on, and then just pop that in the middle there. And then all I've done this time, again, I love that little collection of dies that we've got for those little outline dies that came with the Mini a few weeks ago. Again, I've just cut the little dragonfly out of scraps of that same cardstock that I've been working with all the way through, and just pop the little body on, just to create that little embellishment there. You could add pearls onto there if you wish, but you can see there we've got that lovely sort of little keepsake. It would be lovely if you want to make this into a card. You can actually make the storybook into a card just by using that outside layer. You've seen us do it many, many times where we overlay the top of the die just slightly protruding over the fold in a card blank. So if you've got a card blank big enough to fit that back layer on, and then overhung the die so that it leaves a couple of the pieces of the fold in place, you could actually make this then into a tent fold card.
Nice,
and
that's
that
a
would
great
be
idea.
really nice to give for a special birthday as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, lovely. Really,
so yes,
really lovely.
special
Beautiful
friends
project.
there.
And one of so many things, I think it shows you how well these fit in with the other things that you've already got in your stash. Michelle says that lorry truck driver always honks his horn when Jan is on. It's almost like he knows. Maybe he's honking at you, Jan.
I don't know. I haven't arranged it, honestly. It's not anybody I know.
Pat says, Jan, I love your demos. Jill says, so glad, Jan. Let us know these go through the junior. And also Susan. She's late today. Well, Susan, you'll get detention at this rate, but she's so happy to see Jan and Joe. Let me take you back through this brand new collection then. Best Wishes. Remember, Best Wishes is only available from us here directly. If you do want to get hold of it on its own, you can. Of course, the best way to get the best value is to get the whole collection. So you've got Best Wishes, Special Friend. You also have Happy Birthday. And you've got Thanks Very Much and Just to Say. You're getting one free. Buy four, get one free in this collection, and that is brilliant considering it is a brand new launch today. 22.37 or 28.64 as platinum members. Very busy on this already this morning, all morning, and still really busy on this now as well. Suzanne says that very pretty, this bundle is a fantastic deal. It really is a brilliant, brilliant deal. We're going to have a little look at the hanging ornaments now. These are just so cool, and they are so dimensional, which I think is amazing. So you've got two different ones within here. You've got the heart, and you also have the circle in here, and you've got the ability to pop all of your different hanging elements within there too, which is excellent. Let me show you exactly what you're getting then. So this is how they are going to come to you. You're going to get the heart one firstly. That is called Opulent Heart. You've got the decadent butterflies in there. So this is going to give you that round shape. Then you have got your Dream of Summer. And you'll also get as well Time to Celebrate, those two being the embellishing elements. With those embellishing elements going to be great in other projects, but also by that same very rule, you can bring other embellishing dies that you have into here as well. Lots of the things for those mini dies are going to work brilliantly. We also have those nesting dies available on the show. Now they are I think these are probably the deal of the day as far as I'm concerned, because these should be, was it £80 almost, £78 or $90. Look at what you're getting them for today. Platinum members, £21 and change, $25 and change. So a great, great deal. If you don't already own these, absolutely snap them up. You've got the Deco Swirl, you've got the filigree frame. This one here is the modern swirl. You can definitely mix and match the central elements with the outer elements here too. That's the decorative rose. You've got the delicate lace and the abstract frame in there. 65% off is what you're looking at. That's a saving of £50 or $58 before you then think about what your Club Inspired discount is going to bring that down to. What I would say is when you are looking at products over on the website, always make sure you've logged in first, because then the price you see will be the price you pay with that Club Inspired discount. Don't forget also about the 2nd anniversary of Totally Tiffany. It is going to be culminating in a massive show on Saturday night here in the UK at 6 p.m, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 a.m. on the West Coast. Lots of great reasons to be shopping all things Totally Tiffany this week. There is also a spend more, save more. When you spend £30 or dollars, you'll save 5. When you spend 50, you'll save 10. And when you spend 80, you will save 20, which is awesome. So make sure you take advantage of that. And also today, remember, a flash sale happening over on the website for all things Softcraft. It's National Sewing Day, so you can find up to 60% off, 65% off even selected bundles, and also 3 for 2 on all cut by the metre fabrics, which is excellent. Make sure you take advantage of those whilst they are happening just today. Susan, loving those nesting dies. So I really like the delicate edging on those dies. And Berkeley McBozo, I'm not sure if that might be their real name. Berkeley McBozo. I love watching Jan and Joe together. I think they make a great team. Berkeley McBozo. Probably not their real name. Sorry?
I don't know.
Very strange
that
one,
is
isn't
fab.
it? Very,
Yeah,
very
I
strange
like
one. Any questions you've got, get them into us. Crafters TV over on Facebook, Crafters Companion, if you are across on YouTube. I've got something I want to share with you, actually. Before you go anywhere, I must show you this.
Oh, I know. This
How
is stunning,
fabulous,
isn't it?
Jan, is this?
Absolutely stunning.
Look what Leanne has made
One
for
very
me.
talented lady.
I got a message from her earlier in the week, and the message said, "When do you go to Glastonbury?" And I was like, "Oh, not until. Well, I go off to France this week." She said, "When's your last day?" She has made me look this crocheted rainbow crochet. It's got rainbow on the back. Crocheted pouch to put my stuff in, so I can get like my wallet in there. I can get my phone in there,
yeah.
any of my tickets, and then it's also got this drawstring on it too, so it closes everything
Keep it
up.
safe.
And look at. Oh,
That
hang on,
is
let me
very
pull it the
clever.
other way a little bit further. Get me pom-poms are a bit out of line. 1 second.
Oh,
I want to be able to shake my pom-poms for you. Look,
Look
it's got
at that.
pom-poms as well. Look at that. Isn't it amazing?
she knows you very well.
Very clever, isn't she? I love it. Thank you, Leanne. I won't lose it, George. I won't, I promise. How much better than a bum bag is that?
I think that is absolutely brilliant. As I say, she knows you very well, doesn't she? You wouldn't believe what's going off in my ear, honestly.
Oh, I know,
naughty in that
honestly.
gallery. They really are.
Was that another honk?
Pardon?
Did I just hear another honk? Everyone's honking
Oh,
today,
dear.
aren't they?
Out.
Yes, so we need to be careful on the pom-pom placement, apparently, according to Erin. We'll say we're a bit low. Right then, Jan, back to you.
Thank you for that. Oh my days. As I say, going on, they were getting naughty in my ear then. It's like, behave, guys. Right, so again, we're going to move it on. We're going back to the thanks one, which is the one that we used at the top of the show. It's just the order that I've got the demos in. We will use all the different sentiments before the end of the show. But again, you know, just popping it. This one's just on the Z-fold card. So again, using those sentiments in conjunction with the nesting dies, again, just taking one element from the nesting die and then elements from that beautiful paper pad. So a fair bit of matting and layering going on, but again, letting that sentiment do the talking. Now, the sentiment could have been on the bar here. We could have popped it across that, you know, the spot that creates the double Z there. And the reason it's got that name is because it creates that lovely shape. All right, but you know, you might have wanted the sentiment in the back corner here. Lots and lots of different ways of using them. You might wanted to repeat it. You know, you could have put thanks very much and maybe wanted something else on the other side of it. So mix and match them together. So again, I'm going to go through not so much the actual stamping. I'll do that again on the next one because the next one's got the heat embossing. But just to talk you through those pieces again. If you've been with me since the top of the hour, you will know where I'm heading with this. And I will do the stamping out and the heat embossing on the next demo. But again, I've just taken so simple that metal element and cut it out of some plain cardstock, just the smooth white cardstock. Again, I will reiterate that they do all fit in that little Gemini mini folder. So again, you don't have to worry about getting the larger machines out just to cut something so small. And then this time I have used it's right at the bottom of my pile there, our grasshopper, all right, just to go with the detailing on the cardstock. So quick dry ink again is perfect for the sentiments, because you know once you've stamped them, they're going to be dry. You're not going to risk smudging them in any way. Now, like I said earlier, I prefer to die cut the piece first and then stamp into it. But if you want to stamp onto your piece of cardstock first and then lay the die over the top, absolutely go for it. So that's my sentiment done there. And then this time I've combined it with those lovely abstract frames. So somebody's been very, very naughty. It's a good job I didn't need the big die, because that one's not had all its bits cleaned out.
Oh, that'll be Debbie. Without a shadow of a doubt.
But I actually took this one, and I love the fact that these have got so many different elements in them. But I've actually taken that lovely little round one there, and I've just cut that out of some plain green cardstock that comes with that collection. You can just see how that fits in there. These all follow the same pattern, where this initial sort of central one doesn't have a die cut edge here, same as the large one doesn't, which means that you've got that piece intact. If you wanted an aperture in there, you can see that there is a circle frame which you can cut into that as well, and that would open this up if you wanted to put something behind it. So however you wanted to play that, we've got that one. And then I've just used the plain circle to cut out a top layer, and then we've got the corresponding part of the stamp there with the very much. So we're going to have thanks very much. Okay, so what I want to do this time is I'm just going to run that die through here. And if I'm just using the stamp on its own piece like this, I like to actually die cut it more than once and stick them together, and it gives you a bit more rigid piece, a little bit like those of you that use the chipboard elements as decoration. It makes it a little bit more rigid. So I'm just going to pop that through really quickly, because it's only a small piece there. I'm going to create 2 more layers of it and then just glue them together, just to give that a little bit of rigidity there. So just pop those through quickly, and literally just take the 2 die cuts, and we're going to add just a bit of glue to the back of them and literally stack them up. And I do this a lot with not just these sentiments, any die cut sentiments. It just makes them a bit more robust, depending on where you've got them on your card. You know, if you don't want them to sort of get damaged, literally just layer them together. And bearing in mind that we're working with a 300 GSM cardstock, you'd be amazed how those 3 layers together really give you that sort of piece that does resemble more, as I say, of a chipboard piece rather than just a piece of cardstock. So the one that I've stamped is going to go on the top like so. And again, you've got something, instead of that 1 layer of card, you've got something that is actually quite substantial. All right, just to give you that element on the front of your design. Now, you could ink around the edges of this as well if you wanted to. You could do a complementary colour. That would look pretty with the lemon ink round it to pick out those beautiful roses there, wouldn't it?
Really gorgeous.
Okay, so we've got, I'm going to pop this one together just so that we've got our topper at the ready, and then I've got some matting and layering to do, Joe, so it may be that you want to...
well, there's loads of comments coming in.
Oh, little natter.
There's a lot of chat about my pouch.
About your pouch?
Yeah.
I'm glad they were chatting about the pouch and not the bits that were dangling. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
They had me worried.
No one's discussing my pom-poms, thankfully. Nee says that is a very awesome pouch, though. Yay, Leanne. Pam says, what a great gift. Leanne is a
very
sweetheart.
Clever.
And Angela Mulecross says, fantastic, Joe. It is so you. I'd love one myself. Do you think Leanne would take in orders?
Maybe,
Probably.
yeah.
I'm not sure she has time. I think they take quite a long time to make, Jan. She sat and crocheted it, so I took her a couple of evenings, I think.
I think the crochet grows faster than knitting, doesn't it?
Yes.
And when you're making up from those, I think it's made up from the squares, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, made from granny squares.
I like doing those. I've got a couple of blankets that I've done with those.
They're really cool for blankets.
So again, I'm just going to pop that one so that we've got our sentiment there. And again, I've got some little dewdrop pieces here just to bling it up a bit because we can. I'm just going to put some of those little tiny ones just in and around, just to give it a little bit of a... I like a bit of bling on a project.
It's not a Jan project without a bit of bling, is it?
It's not, no. So again, we've got our little topper at the ready there, and then I've just popped some pieces out of the paper pad to complement that. We've got a butterfly and that lovely rose that we'll pop on later. So I have got a bit of matting and layering to do, Jo. I'll just talk you through that if you haven't done a Z-fold card before, and then I need to stick all these pieces together. So I've taken what started out life, okay, as a 6x6 card. So it's 12 inches by 6 inches, scored halfway at the 6 inch and scored at 3 inches. And then I folded it in half and then folded this piece back on itself. So that creates that sort of Z there, all right? And then the piece that you cut off the edge here, all right, we've got the same piece. So we've got that fold in half and that fold back on itself. All right, and then all we're going to do is literally flip this all the way over so that the long piece is at the back on the card but at the front on the band, and then you can see that that lines up perfectly to give you that shape that we're aiming for. And then all I've done is taken some lovely sort of cardstock and pattern paper from that lovely pad, and I'm just going to start and do some matting and layering, and I've got some pieces that are going to go on the band as well.
Excellent.
So just give us a couple of minutes to get all those together, Jo. You don't necessarily need me see me
no
sticking
worries.
all those.
Any questions you've got, get them into me. Crafters TV over on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you are across on YouTube. Lorna Jane says, I've never learned to crochet. Maybe when I have no more room for paper craft stash, I may move on to learn. It's actually quite easy to teach yourself. It's getting the knack of how to hold it is the art.
The tension in it, yeah.
I managed to, with a little bit of help from Anne-Marie from Hunky Dory.
So you were doing it quite a bit, weren't you, at one time?
I managed to start. I really do need to get back into it. I do actually miss it. And I did think, just last week maybe I should start a new project, and then I keep forgetting to bring my stuff.
Once you get the hang of it, it's one of those quite mindful
very much
hobbies.
so.
You know, you can sit and watch TV at night and you can crochet at the same time. Same as sort of when you sat doing, you know, fussy cutting and things like that. So it is a nice one to sit and do. It's nice. I often take my crochet hook and wool up to the caravan when we're at the caravan. It's nice to just sit up there on my decking and do a bit of crocheting in the sunshine.
Maybe I'll take some on holiday with me when I go this week.
Why not?
I mean, I must admit, the summer doesn't really inspire me to crochet very much. It's all about warm. I like to do hats and scarves.
You're a sun worshipper, aren't you?
Yeah, so hats and scarves, not really good for this time of year. Although I did think to myself I'd make another little animal. I quite like the origami.
I can never say it.
Amigurumi.
Something like that.
Arrivederci.
Something like that, yeah. I can never say it either, but I do know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Omigurumi, you guys know what I mean.
Basically,
it goes round and round and round, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've got at home, and that was made from what started out as the sort of traditionally, they're known here in the UK as granny squares. I'm assuming that the lady that started them was a granny maybe, I don't know. But you sort of go around and make the squares. But these were the same principle, but they're actually hexagons.
Oh, okay.
And then you don't stitch them, you use the crochet hook to fasten them together. And he's actually a big hippo. He's about this long.
A hippo made out of hexagons?
Made out of all the different hexagons fastened together to create the body and the legs. Very, very clever. It took me a while to do from a pattern that I found on the internet. And I was really, really chuffed with him. He came out a lot bigger than I had envisaged.
Right.
But yeah, he sits on the bedroom shelf in the bedroom. Is lovely. So the design in the hexagons was grey, white and pink. So it should be a she, I suppose, really. Well, then again, who knows? Stereotypical there, wasn't
Just
it?
be careful not to misgender that hippo.
But yeah, as I say, it came out about sort of the width of the glass mat here, and he stands about this tall. So yeah, I was really chuffed with myself that I'd actually made it and done it. So it was just a case of crochet all the hexagons first, and then you use the crochet hook and the thread to actually go through where the two meet and actually do a stitch between them to fasten them together. Yeah, loved it.
Very clever, very, very clever. Angela asks, I'm not sure we know the answer to this. I think I do. What is the angel policy for the knitwear collections? I think as long as you're making projects out of them, you're absolutely fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much runs, unless it's a licensed product that we buy, it's pretty much the same for any of our products, in that if you're making something with that product, you can make as many as you want, whether you're making them for, you know, gifting or whether you're selling them, as many as you want. What we don't allow, for example, is for you to die cut a stash of images, you know, so for example, you've got the nesting dies, to die cut a load of these and package them up and sell the die cuts. No more so do we allow for you to stamp out, maybe you've got the animal stamps and stamp out lots of images and sell the images. You have to stamp them and do something with them and make them into a project. So colour them in, make them into a project, and then as many as you wish. And
Brilliant.
that does apply to the Knitwits collection as well.
Excellent. There you are. Any other questions you've got, you can get them into me, Crafters TV, over on Facebook, Crafters Companion, across on YouTube, which is wonderful. We've got another show coming up later, don't forget, as well. Myself and Jan bringing your Monday to a close. We've got Monday Makers a little bit later. I'll show you something in a minute, actually, that's coming up on that Monday Makers show.
Now, I've just realised that I've actually put my paper this way, and it would probably have been better the other way up so that we could see those beautiful roses in the top, but hey-ho, I've stuck it down now. So this one is going to fit across here. So I only need to put glue on this outside half of that tab there, and that's going to stick to the front panel. And again, you can have it level with the bottom of the card if you wish. You can have it halfway. I like to just bring mine up about just under an inch from the bottom, and then we're going to stick that one to the front, and then it will all line up. So I'm just going to turn it over. We missed the middle one, and then you want glue on that last tab. So again, whether you're using wet glue or tape or the pens, whichever you prefer. And then if you tuck this back in, this will line up perfectly now with the edge of the card. And I'm just going to eyeball that this distance here is about the same, and line it up with the edge of the card, and you can see there now, once we've got that in place, that it all folds back down to that 6x6 size. Now we're going to put a little bit of detail on the front, so this one I would possibly be making an envelope box for, or even a gift box to pop it in. But obviously, you know, you've got that beautiful sort of element in there. As I say, I would have been better with the paper the other way around, but we'll not to worry too much about that. So I've got my little topper at the ready. That's going to go in the centre here. So again, I just need some tape at the bottom and down that left-hand side. This bit here, I need to make sure there's no glue in that sort of top quadrant there. So I need to go straight down that side and across the bottom there. And that's going to adhere to this panel and this one here. And then I've left that bit blank to actually fit across the gap there. All right, so you can see at the back here, we don't need any on this back piece here. All right, and then I'm just going to use these little toppers that I've took out of the paper pad, give them a bit of shape with my fingers, bring the old foam pads back in, and we want a little piece behind the butterfly. He's going to go on that side, and then we want one behind. Put a couple behind that one. And then that one's going to go at that side just there. And then I've just got a little piece of ribbon that I'm going to pop in that top, just to balance those out a little bit. Just a little bit of ribbon from the stash. And pop that in that top corner just there. So you can see there, we turn you that one round. Again, you know, lots of matting and layering going on there from those paper pads that we've all got in our stash. And then using that sentiment again to make it the star of the show. Just layering it up like we did on those 3 die cuts to make it more substantial, so that these pieces are not going to get damaged. You know, when you pop it in an envelope, they're not going to get damaged on the edges there. But yeah, using those coloured inks, and just take them. They'll fit pretty much on any of your, you know, any card design that you've got there that you can think of. I think the sentiments will work with any colour schemes, any occasions. Really versatile.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. They really, really are. £27.96 or $35.80 is your price there on that. Your platinum price, $22.37 or $28.64, which is excellent. Let me just share with you again exactly what you are getting in here. So you've got, of course, best wishes being this one just here. Then you've also got special friend. This one here is your happy birthday. Then you've got thanks very much, and also just to say there as well, which is amazing. So make sure you grab all of those. The next one we have got just here is your silhouette stencil collection, as you can see. Really, really gorgeous, these. This one here is your beautiful moments. You've then also got strength and love just there too. This one here is follow your dreams. Then we've also got the believe in yourself. And you then have your, this one here is follow your heart. And you've also got there too the you are the one, £50.66 or $58.30 is your price there on those. 40, 53 or 46.64. Let me also share with you the Midas Metallic collection that you've got just here. So these, some really beautiful colours in here. They're very much the same as your rose satin. Sorry, they're very much the same as your pigment ink pads there as well. And you've also got the pink lace in here. You've got the bronze in there as well as the rose gold, the blush, and the gold there as well. Let's just have a quick break. $32.99 or $49.99 is your price there on those. Platinum members, $26.39 or $39.99. So make sure you grab those. Here are all the details of US delivery.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges, and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95, and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members, who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
Make light work of intricate and delicate die-cutting designs with the Pokey Tool from Crafter's Companion. An absolute essential part of any paper crafter's kit, its precise tip has been designed to release the tiniest pieces to reveal your finished results with absolute precision. And to make sure your finished project is perfect, each Pokey Tool has a rubber tip protector, so there's no risk of damaging your die-cutting design or yourself. The Crafter's Companion Pokey Tool is such an essential craft item, we've included 2 in each set.
Quick Buy, get yours now.
Absolutely, get yours now before it is too late. Let me share with you these flower dies that we've got on the show just here. This is your Dainty Daisy that you've got there. You've also got the Dreamy Dandelion. This one here is your Pretty Foliage, and you've also got your flowers there, which are your Charming Florals. Do grab these. Another great value launch that we brought to you recently there. $17.59 or $22.80 if you want to get your hands on those ones. Right, we're going to go back to the lovely Jan. She's got even more inspiration for us.
Right, I just wanted, as I say, we've just done a combination of sort of card projects and gift projects. So we did the little bag earlier. If you were watching earlier, we did the little sort of dinky bag there with the room inside to pop a gift. This time I thought we'd just, you know, just the basic box. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. We've popped a few shaker elements in the top there. And then this time we've got that lovely heat embossing. So if I tip that there, you can just see how that sentiment's picking up that sort of lustre from the embossing powder. So we're going to work our way through this one in total. So I'll pop that one to one side. So we're taking the Just For You this time, and these all follow the same format. So once you get used to these, you'll know that you've got your metal element to cut out the mat, and then you've got your stamps that fit with them. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take that piece off. Oh, I've got the tape with it. There we go. So nearly took the tape with it again. And then I just need a piece of, have I got some white card left? Yes. Okay, just to cut this out of the white. No, I want to cut it out of black, Jan, not white. There we go, piece of black card. So this is just our matte black. And again, I'm just going to pop that through our little mini there and cut that mat out of the back. And then this time we're going to bring in our watermarking pad, which fits alongside sort of your stamping inks. Now the watermark one is just a clear ink. So if I bring this one into play, this is just a sticky clear ink. Now ours are not always, it's got a little bit of transfer of ink on it, but it won't damage it. So I've got my little plaque there to work on. Pop that to one side, and then I'm also going to combine it with some silver embossing powder, and I've just realised I haven't plugged my heat tool in, so let me just grab that and plug that in for a second so that we've got some form of heat to melt that powder. Excuse me, my apologies for being downstairs there.
Oh, you're downstairs. Have you got? Are you?
I just
got a
need
basement over there,
downstairs.
have you?
Yes, just to plug that in downstairs. I'm back again now. All the blood's rushed to my head now, bending down. Whew. So here we go, let's get everything ready. So what I'm going to do then is transfer this to my platform again. So just like we did if you've seen the earlier demos, a few of those little dots on the back. Okay, pop it on here, line it up. I just like to keep them nice and straight. And again, the reason I've used this and not the magnets is if we pop the magnets over here, we're covering up part of the area that the stamp's going to fit in. So on this occasion, I'm not actually using the magnets to hold it down. And then I'm going to take the stamp set, and we've got our main stamp, which says Just. And then we've got the little extra piece there that says Just to Say. And I've already done that bit onto a tiny little bit of card there, and I've used our white opaque, it's just barely visible there, but it does actually say that on the, you can see that there, Just to Say. So that bit's at the ready. But this one, we're actually going to use the translucent ink, and then we're going to use the embossing powder, and I just need a little bit of paper to catch that embossing powder. And we're going to say a prayer, because I've got the fan on, because it's very warm in here, so I'm hoping that we don't end up covered in embossing powder. So let me just put my pin back in there for a second so that that doesn't dry out. Ooh, I think it already has. There we go. And what we're going to do then is look through, I'm looking through the actual stamp here onto the black section, and you can just line this up and see that it's positioned perfectly. So if you haven't got the stamping platform, it's definitely, I know I'm always going on about it, I love it, it's my #1 piece of equipment, and it just makes things like this so simple. Now you could line it up just hovering over it with either one of our stamping platforms or the rocker blocks, but I think this just makes everything so much easier. So instead of taking a darker ink pad, we're just going to use that sticky ink this time. Make contact with the stamp. Give it a nice liberal coating of that sticky ink because we want enough down to catch the embossing powder. Okay, and then stamp that with confidence that it's going to go exactly in the place we want it to. And then your sticky ink will stay wet for a little while. It's behaves a bit like the opaque pigment inks. It will stay wet enough for you to take this from here. Try not to touch where you've stamped, And then we're going to pop some of that embossing powder over the top.
Jan is taking over from Debbie, getting glue on the stamping platform. I know, Jan used to be one that, you know, was not happy with having a sticky platform.
No, the glue's still on the back of here.
Ah, not on the platform.
No, the platform's fine.
Ah, there you are.
Yeah, you see.
Debbie,
Now then,
take note.
I'm just going to hope that the fan doesn't blow this too much. So, you know, you look as if you're using a lot of your embossing powder. I know when I first started, I thought, oh, that's not going to last long. But when I actually take this off now, I'm just going to give it a tap. And I literally want to get the edge of it and take off all the excess. So again, just give it a little tap with the tweezers and get rid of any of that extra embossing powder. And then this all goes back into your container. So at home, I have a lot of mine in a larger container. It's easier to manage, and I use a little plastic spoon, which isn't static, to get the powder out and just sprinkle it across. So I'm just going to get rid of any excess. I can just feel it on the mat there, a bit gritty. And then in comes the heat tool. Whoops-a-daisy. There we go. So what I'm going to do is, because we've got those little glue dots underneath, I'm just going to sort of anchor it to the craft mat. And then literally, the key with heat embossing is to get your heat tool up to temperature. All right, so instead of going straight onto the card, make sure that it's nice and warm before you get going, and then direct it at one part of your piece that you've got the embossing powder. And just see some stray bits there. All right, so I'm just going to aim it here at this side. All right, and wait until that's melted. You can see it changing there. It goes nice and shiny, and then just chase it. I'm going to hold it down at this end now.
Have you got that on, that heat gun?
I have turned it on.
Are you sure?
It's lovely and quiet, my little heat tool. It's very good for taking around. And once it's done, turn your heat off it. You don't need to keep going over it. The more you heat it, the more it will actually sink back into the card. And then it just needs a second or two to sort of set. If you touch it straight away, it can sometimes be a wee bit tacky. So just leave it a second or two to set, but you get that lovely sort of luster. Look at that. Just a really different way of showing that stamping, rather than we've used a black ink, we've used coloured inks. Now bringing in that embossing powder just makes it sort of a little bit more luxurious, I think. So let's pop that to one side. So we're actually going to pop this one onto a box. The base of it goes together really quickly. So all I've done is taken, we started out at 7.5 inches, and I've scored it at where are we? 1 3/4, all the way round. Fold in your score lines, burnish them in so that they know that that's where you want them to go. And by burnishing, I just mean applying pressure down those crease lines so that the card remembers that that's where you want it to fold. All the way down the edge. And then the base part there. Now then, there we go. I'm just going to go back to that double-sided tape here. And on the tabs, little bit of tape, and then we're just going to fold them in to make that 90-degree angle again, where we line up that part with the corner, give it a good rub, and that's the base of our box at the ready. Now you can pop a little piece of pattern paper in here if you want. It would look nice with a piece of that lovely silver glitter card in there. And then the top, I've done the same, but I've taken a square aperture out of here. So I've done exactly the same with the scoring. We've got that 1 1/4 inch. Again, we're going to burnish that into place. Tabs and along the side. Okay. And then I'm going to pop
This is really interesting, Jan. I don't think I've seen it. Oh, I just nearly called you Debbie then. Jan, very interesting, this.
What did you call me then?
Nothing. Didn't
There was a slight slip of the tongue there.
It was a Jan.
Jan.
Oh, I've got a spaceship now all of a sudden. What's that all about?
What?
Look, I'm like a UFO. Has that
Out of
been there
this
the whole
world,
time?
Joe. Out of this world.
Oh, I think you've just added that and seen if I see the difference. Are you sure it's been there the whole time? Oh, it's only been there a week or so. But it's been there for the entirety of this show? Oh.
So again, I'm just going to pop some tape round the inside of that aperture and pop my acetate in there to make the base part so that that's nice and secure. And again, just make sure that that acetate's sealed because we're going to pop some shaker pieces inside. Okay, so that's that one. I'm going to decorate the edges. I've got a little bit of tape showing there, but I can rub that away. So for the edges, I've just gone with silver and black. So those are nice and straightforward to keep that colour theme going. And we're just going to mat and layer these onto the 4 sides of the lid. You can decorate the base of the box if you wish, but I tend to just pop the decoration on the lid because this covers the bulk of the bottom part of the box anyway. So again, just left that 1/4 inch increment, and that's how I work with the majority of my mats and layers. So a 3rd one. And then I just need to stick that 4th one together. So I just cut the silver layer first, and then the black one, that 1/4 inch smaller, just to leave a border all the way around. So again, I'm going to put some tape on the back of the black, and then I've just lined that up nicely on the silver there to make the matte layer, and then again on the back of that one to just finish that. And I do like to do that before. I find it easier to decorate this before I put the box together.
Lillian says, yes, it's been there ages, Joe, apparently. I had no idea. Pammy also says she could listen to you all day, Jan.
Oh, bless you. And then what I'm going to do is I've created a frame using some of my square nesting dies. I'm just going to trim a little bit off that edge there. So again, I want acetate inside here because this is going to form the top section. So on the back of the frame, again, I'm just going to stick the acetate down. So make sure, I'm going to try and stay on the cardstock this time. I got a little bit showing on the lid, but you'll forgive me. So again, just round here, and then pop, whoop, stuck to it myself, pop this on the reverse there. So that's going to cover the aperture at the back. And then we're going to create that gap in between here. Okay, so this inside square and this one are the same. So I just need to grab some foam on a roll. And all we're going to do is pop foam all the way around the edge there. And just make sure when you're doing anything like this with the shaker elements that the foam actually meets in the corners. You don't want any little gaps. Those sequins are extremely good escape artists. So if you've got any little gaps in the foam here, you'll get, when you do the shaking bit, you'll get bits escaping out of the gap.
We don't want that, do we?
We certainly
don't want a leaky shaker.
All right, so that one's going to go, and make sure that they're just nicely sealed in the corners there. Okay. So I've got that bit ready, that bit ready. I've got my sentiment at the ready. So I will actually put the box together now, just because we're working with the shaker element and I don't want to end up tipping it up while we're halfway through. So glue on those tabs again, just like we did with the base. Nice little rub in there, just to secure that tape. All 4 corners. And then all that's left to do is actually create our shaker pieces on the top. So I've got a little bag of bits and pieces here. I've got some stars in this one. There were some little iridescent pieces in the other one. But again, just to pop those. And I like to pop these into the top section of this piece here. Now I'm hoping that the fan's not going to blow them all away. So just pop them, let's see if we can get most of those out. Got them stuck in the packet, there we go. Just into that middle section there. And then, don't blow away, we need to take the tape off our shaker foam.
I've really enjoyed watching Jan and Joe today, says Sarah Brown. You both made me laugh and smile so much, so thank you. Well, you're welcome, Sarah. Most welcome. Heather says, this is how I started card crafting. I saw someone do this and I was hooked. There you are.
And then all I'm going to do is pop that over the top, line up those apertures, and then make sure, oh, it's stuck too quickly. Come back. Come back. Phew. There we go. Just make sure that everything lines up and that we've got a nice border around the outside there, and then make sure that that bit is sealed really well. I should have turned some of those stars over because they're upside down, but you get the idea there. And then this one's going to go over the top to make my box. And then we've just got our sentiment left, which we're going to pop on the front there. So again, I'll just pop a couple of little foam pads on the bigger piece. So all I've done is just cut some of these down so that they fit nicely on the back of that sentiment there. And then we'll put the bottom piece nice and flat. So that one's going to go at the bottom there. In fact, we'll stick that one down first so that I know where that one's going to sit. So I just want that one in the corner like so. And then this one, again, just can you see how it's sort of been designed to nestle
really lovely, isn't
around it? It's been very cleverly done again. And again, you know, you could add, I've got a little bow, we could pop a little bow up in the corner there, just at the top. But whatever decoration you want to really on these, they really are pretty little sentiments to work with. So again, just to offset that corner in the top corner there, and you've got that lovely little, I really should have turned some of my shaker pieces round so that you could see the silver. But if I show you the one, this had some little iridescent pieces in as well there, just to give you that idea. And you've got that lovely embossing on the sentiment this time as well.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Okay.
Jessica says, beautiful box. Trish says, love making boxes for cards. Make it a shaker, just takes it up a notch. It really does. Let me recap then the different sentiments that you're getting included within here. So you've got 5 in this bundle, which makes them great value. You've got best wishes, special friend, happy birthday, thanks very much, and you've also got just to say in there. 2, £27.96 or £35.80. That's a 20% saving, so you're getting one for free, which is brilliant considering we've just launched this today. £22.37 or £28.64 is your platinum price there on those. Should we do a card of the show, Jan?
Certainly will.
Excellent.
Just grabbing my stamp back before I lose it.
Just get ready for that. Remember what's happening for the rest of the day as well here on Crafters TV. Myself and Jan are going to be back up with Monday Makers. That is 6 p.m. in the UK, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 a.m. over on the West Coast. And then tomorrow, a big day, of course, here on Crafters TV because we are launching the brand new Nature's Garden collection. Myself and Corinne will be here with the Sunflowers collection all day tomorrow. Don't miss out on this deal today, though, because this is a bonkers price on these. These should be $77.94 or almost $90. Today, you can pick them up with a £50 or $58 saving, which is great. So you've got the Deco Swirl. This one's the filigree frame. They mix and match beautifully, too. This is the Modern Swirl. Then you've got the decorative rose just there, as well as the delicate lace and also the abstract frames. $21.82 or $25.11 for platinum members. Did you want to do that card of the show then, Jan?
Yeah, we'll start at the top of the show, and we started with that lovely wreath of butterflies there with the thanks. So that was card number 1. All right, and we did put this die onto the website for you, just this stamp, sorry, just in case anybody was interested in that butterfly wreath. So that is actually on the details for today's show. So that was number 1. Number 2, we made that cute little gift back with the happy birthday there. So many different things that we could fit just inside the little bag there. So that was number 2. Number 3 was the storybook with the special friend there. And again, I have got over here, the fan keeps blowing it away, the little stand for that one. So that's number 3. Okay. Number 4 was the Z-Fold card there with the thanks very much.
Amazing.
Okay, let's move it across a bit there. Yep, number 4. And number 5, we've just done the lovely little gift box with the shaker elements in the top. And because it's see-through, if you pop in a little gift in there, just wrap it in a nice bit of tissue. So that one's number 5. Okay, so that's ready for the vote.
Brilliant. Get
Thank
those
you.
votes in then. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. I want to share something else with you now. We've got a great deal coming up. You'll see this in our later Monday Makers show as well. It's our Nature's Garden Beautiful, one of the most popular Nature's Gardens we launched in recent times. Lots in this one for you. This is a cut and emboss folder. It's your bees in the nature. You've then got your bees and flowers, one of these lovely sort of slimline embossing folders. This one here is bumbling in the flowers. We've also got sweet as honeycomb, which is that one there. You're going to receive the Builder Bee too, which is a brilliant layering stamp, great to use with your quick dry ink pads. That was the name I was looking for there. And then you've got lots of different stamps and dies in here too. 3 sets of stamps and dies. In fact, so you've got your beehive, which is that one there. Really love that poppy and the poppy heads that are in there. This one here is your honeybee, which is gorgeous. Love the texture, love that honey spoon that you've got, and you've got bee blooms in there with that lovely big floral element. You should be looking at £86 or $132 today, £52 and change, $79 and change. It's a great saving there on that one, so make sure you are snapping that one up. Now, I believe, Jan, have you got some more inspiration you want to shoehorn into the end of this show?
I have. Just to finish off, I want to show you a slightly different way, you know, sort of as extending these. So we're actually going to go with the colours again, but using that stamp multiple times, a little bit like you said with the mats, Joe, a stagger in the mats, but this one's just using the stamp, and then I've raised that last one just on a little bit of foam. Just, again, a different way of using them. So nice and straightforward, nice and simple to do, but again, giving that sort of wow factor. So all I've done is cut a piece of card to the size that I want for the front of my design, and then I've taken some of the colours. So I've got Chinese red, I've got the orange, I've got the grasshopper, and I've got parakeet there at the bottom. Now I've already done the blue one, and I use my opaque pigment for the blue, and I've just done a little bit of heat embossing on that one again. You don't know, it's just catching the light there. So this is going to be the one that goes at the bottom. Okay, but what we're going to do is just use the stamp set from the Happy Birthday, and we want the stamp itself first, and just position it along that card blank. So I'm going to start up at the top. Okay.
Brilliant.
And literally just sort of edge to edge there. Get it as straight as we can do, and then pick it up with the platform, and we're going to go in with the red one first. So these are my quick dry inks again. Nice gentle tap on there. All right. And then that one's going to be the first colour. You could do this in a nice sort of rainbow shade of colours. You could do it in that ombre again, like if you were watching earlier when I did the pink inks earlier, you could do that sort of gradient of colour. Now I can see there's a little bit at the top there that's not quite as well stamped. Now the ink's still here. I've just obviously not pressed that down as well. So literally back in and press that top bit, and it should transfer that ink beautifully. And then all I'm going to do is use my cloth to just take off any surplus ink, and then we're literally going to move this down to the next position, which is going to be about there, like so, and then literally pick that one up, and then I'm going to go to the orange ink. So whatever colour scheme you fancy for this, it doesn't have to be the same colours that I've used. It might be a particular colour scheme for an occasion. It might be the recipient's favourite colours. Depends where you want to go with it. So again, we've got Happy again. Just give it a little bit of a harder press there. And don't forget, you know, if you're not happy with the first go, you can always re-ink and stamp again with the platform. Again, just take away any surplus ink, and then I'm going to take it once more and move it down again to this next place. All right. And then we're going to stamp with the green this time. So pick it up, and this one's grasshopper, and again exactly the same. on there.
I love this idea, Jan, really cool.
Just something a bit different with them, as I
Are
say.
you just doing this by eye?
I have,
Placing
yeah.
them by eye, yeah?
By eye. All right, again, that's a little bit faint, so I'm just going to ink it up a second time. I think some of the ink pads are getting a little bit dry here in the
I
studio.
mean, we have had them a long time.
We use them a lot,
3 years
don't we?
we've had the
Yeah.
ink pads now, isn't it?
So again, just by adding that second layer, it will deepen up that shading for you, okay? So that's where I've got to so far. And then what I've done, you can see I've got the same here. And then I've taken the dye element here and cut out this element. I'll just take the tape again with me. I've taken this bit and cut it out of the bottom. All right, because I want to create like a shadow effect. And then I've just used one of my black pens to do a little bit of faux stitching around the edge. And again, once you've done the stamping side of it, this is really straightforward. So I've got my card blank, 7x5 card blank. I've got my matte layer for this one, which we're going to stick down with that tape pen again. So just round the edges there. Again, you can mat any of the elements up onto foam if you wish. Just make sure there's a bit of tape on that bottom corner. Onto there. And then again, this one's going to go onto the card blank. And I'm just going to
Really
pop that to
beautiful.
one side. And then the reason I've taken this out is because I want to again pop my little one that I did in the blue onto some foam pads. I think I've got...
You and foam pads, Jan. Honestly, there was a time where you wouldn't use a foam pad.
Do you know, I don't know what they've done to them, Joe, but they release much, much easier than they used to.
Right.
Either that or I've just got used to them, I'm not sure. But yes, I am sort of having a much better relationship with you. Anybody that's watched me for any length of time will know that I've got a love-hate relationship with these.
You love them, they hate you.
Yeah. All I'm going to do now is just offset this slightly, just a fraction, so that you can see a little bit of that black aperture behind it again. And then the other part of it is we've got the birthday bit there. So again, a little bit of on the back of there. Now the one that I did earlier, I'd managed to squeeze it in the bottom, but I think I'm actually going to pop it just there on that one. So nice and quick once you've done the stamping. But you can see there, just using those stamps in a different way there to create a really fun look with those little sentiments.
How amazing
Okay.
is that? Right, Jan, what another amazing demonstration. Let me just share with you again what you're getting in this particular bundle. This is the launch date. It's the first chance you've had to get your hands on them today, and they are absolutely flying out. So you've got Best Wishes is your first one, just here. You will also receive Special Friend, which is that one there. Then we have Happy Birthday, as well as Thanks Very Much, and you'll also get Just to Say within there too. $27.96 or $35.80. That's 20% saving. You will also be able to use your Club Inspired discount platinum members under £23 or $29, which is amazing value for money. Demo of the show is number 4, Jan. Demo number 4.
Demo number 4. So 1, 2, 3. That was the Z fold, I believe. Yep. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Let me share with you something else as well that's on the show, because was that paper from here? Or am I adding seeds?
Yes,
it was
I think
from
it
this
is.
pad. Brilliant.
Yes.
And this is great. This is your Knitwit Kindly Thoughts paper and card collection. So 63 sheets in total. I don't know why we say 63 sheets. You've got 24 sheets in your 12x12 and 24 sheets in your luxury. So you should say 48 there. We'll get that checked for you. So there is your Kindly Thoughts 12x12 papers, and you will also get this one here. This is your Knitwit Luxury Castle. So we'll get that changed for you. It should be 48 sheets that you're going to. So unless you get the 6x6 as well. We are investigating. Investigation is underway. We will see. We'll come back to you on that. Michelle wants to know if I can vote for the. Can you vote for the rainbow one? No, Michelle, it's too late. I'm sorry, the lovely Michelle McCarthy. The other thing I need to tell you about as well is that some really special promotions running today and also through the week. So remember, it is National Sewing Machine Day today. You can get up to 65% off of selected bundles over on the website. There's also a 3 for 2 across all of our cut by metre fabric. So make sure you go and snap that up. And also remember, we have a Totally Tiffany promotion running to mark Tiffany's 2nd anniversary. That 2nd anniversary will be coming up with a very special show on Saturday. Craft House, 6 p.m. in the UK, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 a.m. on the West Coast. You also have a spend more, save more here. So you spend 30, you'll get 5 off. Spend 50, you'll get 10 off. Spend 80, you'll get 20 off, which is absolutely excellent. Massive thanks to Jan. Pleasure as always, Jan. See you back here at 6 p.m.
In a couple of hours, will do.
Looking forward to it already. We've got Monday Makers, of course, coming up 6 p.m. in the UK, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 a.m. if you are over on the West Coast. Loads on that show for you. Beautiful. We've got stamps and stencils with the silhouettes. We've also got some of those hanging ornaments coming up too. Do not forget, though, to check out your basket on this brand new Sentiment collection. Can't wait to see what you guys manage to come up with once you get all of these home. We're going to go and get a cup of tea in us, and we'll see you back here in a couple of hours. Take care.